Hey guys, if you like to party and the stock block is what you're trying to go fast on, we have a new brand for you here, Stock Block the World. Go to the link in the video and support us. It should eventually lead to t-shirts, hoodies, and other apparel. Hey guys, I just want to make a little clip before you watch this video. It's about failure, it's about parts breaking, it's part of drag racing. I don't want it to come off as that we have a doubt in what the 5.3 block can hold, which I don't think it should, but I don't want anybody else to have a doubt in it because it's not something that would happen to, just anybody. I'm fairly confident it was 100% related to just my own fault, not taking rod stretch into the consideration when doing the engine. We use aluminum rods and a lot of four-cylinder stuff. Never had a problem. So this is the only one we've ever done with the V8 stuff, and we figured it out. That's a potential issue. And I'm glad we did on my stuff. Generally, all the customer stuff we've done all steel rods. But this is what I want to say. When it comes to the Stock Block 5.3 stuff, we're kind of in the spotlight. Like, imagine being in Hollywood and imagine there's like a closet somewhere that has like one light bulb still left on. That's where we're at. That's what I mean by spotlight. It's a very dim light in a dingy room that nobody even really knows about. But I just, there's people out there who are always rooting for failure whenever you're trying to do things different. And I don't want this video to be passed around and to be so easily taken out of context, just like a lot of stuff is nowadays. So hopefully you guys will watch it, enjoy the video, and just know, like always, we're going to keep leaning on it because aftermarket block costs way too much money, and that's honestly not near as fun. What's up, guys? It's been a couple days since Darlington. I've got the heads off this thing. As I mentioned in the last video, I think it had got a head gasket, which, I largely contribute to knocking the tires off basically 6 times in a row and, smacking a 9,200 RPM limiter pretty aggressively because, we leave on a lot of ass, so usually if this thing spins, it's a pretty violent spin. But that being said, we got the part. Well, first, to lead up to this, we pushed it on the trailer the other night, and then we drove it in here, and I noticed it was definitely leaking some water, like out of the exhaust when we were doing that. And so Saturday, had a bunch of customer stuff to do, but I was able to at least pull the plugs out, turned it over, puked some water out of number 7, number 4. I was like, okay, at the very least, lift to the head, possibly crack the sleeve or something. Got the heads off and found that number on the driver's side, there's some signs of lifting between cylinders 3 and 5. Nothing so much on number 7, and then on number 4, it was pretty bad. Let me see here. Yeah. So this is the passenger head right here. You see that the gasket is all tore up, and then I guess you said the worst part would be the block here. Now, it looks like the sleeve itself came out okay. So this is where it's going to get interesting. What we're going to do is I'm talking to my machine shop, and I'm thinking that we can just basically repair that a little bit. Of course, deck it, the minimal amount we need. And then what we're going to do is actually fill the block and fill the heads. I've always used water because I like the cooling effect. It helps with hot spots. But, and here is FedEx. So I will pick this up in a second. All right, I'm back. Not even open yet, but sometimes the delivery companies come early. Usually UPS, though, won't come till about 3 to 5 o'clock. We're going to fill the block in the heads. I do think those heads are probably fatigued a little bit. They're a couple seasons old. Obviously not ran a whole lot this year, but then the previous 2 years, they were ran a lot with increasing power levels, and they're about the cheapest heads you can get. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is some date flex going on. the thing is, the big reason I want to fill it is because when they it lifted like that, you couldn't see my video. You kind of notice the car gets squirrely, but you know, it definitely, when it pushed water, it definitely drove through it, and you know, I hit the chute and it straightened it back out. But you only get lucky so many times, and obviously I've had my share of bad luck already. So I'm just going to eliminate the water variable. Another bad thing about having water is if you do lift a head like that, the water pretty much becomes a, well, it creates steam when the heat hits it, and it'll become a laser and do what you saw there in the deck. Really, only thing I think that could cause that is, like I said, all those, between smacking the limiter and then, I think that's the biggest thing really, because the tune-up is actually softer than what it went a 29 on, and coolant pressure barely budged at all on that stuff. So I think we had rattled something, and it just didn't like it. But I'm thinking though that the block will be able to use it. Also, guys from Enemies Racing Australia, they will they're going to do some copper head gaskets with steel rings in them. So basically, and it'll be like an Athena, but it'll be a copper gasket opposed to the graphite, and with more protrusion in it that'll go into the block deck. So we will. Honestly, the outer edge of the deck won't matter a whole lot since we'll be still on the sleeve still. So I've already been talking to Jamie about that. You know, cars will be down for a minute. I'm not rushing to get it done. We have a ton of work here to do on customer stuff. So, you know, I figured the next race most likely will be probably Duck's race come the end of February. But I'd definitely like to test before then. And you know, make some other changes. I really need to rewire this thing too the right way, not the rushed way. But we'll see if that happens. I gotta get motivated because it's working like it is. But I do want to rewire the coils because right now they're in the default configuration from the Fuel Tech harness. This is the old FT500 harness with the FT600 to 500 adapter. But these it's still in waste spark, and I know there's a little bit more power if you get things in out of waste spark. But that's where we're at. You know, it's Wednesday, tomorrow's Thanksgiving, but I'm going to try to get the short block out on Saturday, which I shouldn't have a problem doing that, and we can move along with making things happen. So cleaning the heads up, and we notice there is a little arrow here on this cylinder head. Can you see it here? Lighting's kind of bad for it. Oh, there we go. You can see it. Because I can't through the camera. So that tells us that either a bearing was beginning to go out, which once again can make sense with all the high RPM spinning and smacking the limiter, or that a rod may have stretched. So I get this thing tore apart. We're gonna find out. So I talked to a buddy after sending the picture of the head to him, and he said he had the same issue with his aluminum rods. It just stretched a little more, so we just need to go with a little bit thicker head gasket, which I already mentioned that we're going to have the guys from Enemies Racing Australia do some head gaskets with their built-in fire rings. And now I'll just I'm going to verify what we had on there. It's compressed thickness, and then I'll should add 10,000ths of that and be okay. But that would explain though too why we had the issue we did. Just the quench got a little too tight in the chamber, which would explain a premature failure like that. So now it's to get this block out and see if we can you know, preserve it for what we want to do. No, Tuesday night, guys. Didn't have time to do anything Saturday. What did I do? No, I went to the no prep race with Sammy. And then last Tuesday we were putting the project tabs on and making them work. Still awesome, by the way. It's been 1 week. Super happy about it still. Anyways, what I got to do tonight? I got to get this engine torn down so I can get the block to the machine shop and tell them to fix it, even if it sounds like a terrible idea. And that way it can get this part out of the way. As you can tell, it's like it was last time. You know, everything's still in there. The block still looks poopy right there on number 4. And then I'm going to look at all the rods and stuff, and I'll probably have them check the rods too, just to make sure nothing's stretched. Obviously, aluminum rods do stretch. That's kind of, I'm confident that's what got us in this scenario, is that the we didn't have quite enough quench once the rods got warm enough, and that's why I ended up lifting the head. So it just took a few times to, I think that's probably honestly the warmest the rods have been, because we sat for so long at lights out. But here, we were turning around there at Darlington, we're turning the car around pretty quick. So anyways, that's where I'm at. So let me get this thing torn apart because it's cold, and even though we have heat in here, it's not enough. So let me get this knocked out. Sorry guys, my battery died. I don't have a lot of time left. What we're doing real quick is we're going to weigh this block empty, just in a bag, maybe a little bit of fluids, so we know how much the actual block itself weighs now versus what it weighs when we get it back and it's been filled. So let's find out. John wants to strong arm it, and I will let him. If we don't break it. So 120.4. Remember that.
Like I said, I'm curious how much weight it's going to gain when we get it back. Honestly, I'll probably weigh the heads too, because I'm curious, and just to see what kind of weight we end up putting onto the engine itself. Even though we know we're going to lose weight because we're getting rid of water, getting rid of the water pump, water reservoir, I feel like we'll probably lose more than we gain based off of theory. But I'm on my way to find out.